Hello, beautiful soul. Random, not so random thought for this moment. I was watching a video on Instagram and it was talking about, it was like a news clip, and it was someone talking about, I guess, some bill that's attempting to go through, and referring to it as the biggest Supreme Court power grab, right? Which would make it so that the Supreme Court essentially has kind of a supreme power, right? And that they would be able to make decisions that would usually be based on or made by experts within that field, right? So like I believe one of the examples that were given, like they would determine, like, I don't remember the examples, but like scientific based things, so like things that would be, that different regulations might be based on, like when considering like climate change and different regulations that they want to put into place to reduce like the amount of emissions that are allowed to go into the atmosphere, or maybe even regulations within companies and factories with, how things operate, and how, maybe disposal of different chemical, stuff like that. So essentially, I guess if it goes through, or I don't know if it went through, I wasn't really clear on that, but essentially if it goes through, then the Supreme Court justices would be the ones that have authority to determine those things, right? So it's kind of a conservative push, was how it's framed. It's a conservative push towards this, giving more power to the Supreme Court, right? And, it kind of got me thinking, like how we get to this point. We have this two-party system, right? Giving the illusion of having two sides, right? What if, and just go with me here, what if there were no two sides, right? And that the illusion of two sides was to ensure that we would have a path towards getting here, and we would have someone to blame for it, right? We can always blame the other side, and we allow ourselves to go along with things because that's just the way that our democracy works. This is the side that had the power to be able to enact this thing, right? This was just a thing that was able to go through when the Republicans were in power, or this was just a thing that was able to go through when the Democrats were in power, right? But what if, right, both sides work together to ensure that we follow along with it, right? We recognize this as the way democracy works, and we understand that, if this side is the one in power, then, they have the numbers, they have the votes to be able to get certain things passed through, right? And we can always say, the Democrats can always say, oh, well, they're in power and they got that done. But, let's look at some of the things, and I haven't done any research, so I really don't know. But when the other side goes into power, how often do they reverse, some of those things that seem to give the government more power, right? seem to centralize more power, right? How often do they turn those back, right? I feel as though all of it is essentially just a guise to little by little take more and more of our freedoms away. I don't think I'm making sense fully in this moment. It made so much more sense in my head, but as I'm saying it out loud, I don't think I'm able to express what it is I'm trying to say. But I think this idea that there are two sides, I think is false. I think they're able to, I think the goal of all of them is to kind of, gather up all of that power. And the Democrats, who are supposed to be the progressive side, the side that, supposedly has some kind of moral high ground, that side can always blame the other side for the powers that have been taken away, the rights that have been taken away, right? They can always, we tried our best, but the Republicans, when I feel like it serves all of them, I feel as though they're beholden to a power that's beyond what the people are able to see, and when people talk about these things, it's always like put out there as this like conspiracy theory. And I think if it's anything that Palestine is showing us, it's that none of it is a conspiracy. Our governments literally are lying to us to our faces, are hardcore gaslighting us, are telling us that we're not seeing what we're seeing. They're all solidified in that, right? Look at the way that what's happening is being covered. Look at the response from Hollywood, this is something that what's happening in Palestine, I think my brain is now moving towards something else, but what's happening in Palestine is something that you would think that, most progressive people would be kind of behind, advocating for. But within the political scene and within like the Hollywood scene, there's so much silence. And if it's not silence, it's like uber support of Israel, right? And it's just interesting, and I think it really begs the question of what does that mean, right? I think there's so many different truths that are being revealed in this moment, and a lot of them are connected, right? And it's a lot to process because it really demonstrates that, I was talking to a friend of mine earlier, when you think of like South Africa, and the lawsuit that they've brought against Israel, with regards to the genocide that they are enacting and the lawsuits that I believe Chile and Mexico have also brought against Israel, right? What we are witnessing is the fact that there are these institutions in place that are meant to protect the people, that are meant to prevent things like this from happening, right? Institutions that are in place that are meant to make us feel safe, right? That are meant to ensure that we maintain our freedoms, right? Our freedoms, right? But what we're seeing is that these institutions can't really do anything, right? They look pretty when, nothing is happening. And, well, not that nothing is happening, but we're not seeing what's happening, right? They look pretty because we don't know all those things that are taking place behind this wall, behind this veil, right? So these institutions, they might give us a sense of security, a sense of safety, a sense of, knowing that there are systems that are in place that will prevent the people in power from exerting that power over us, right? There are systems in place that are meant to protect us from that. And what we're seeing is that those systems do not work, right? What we're seeing is that those systems are just an illusion, right? It's not real. They have no real power, right? The power lies with the people, right? With us and our ability to come together, right? We cannot expect for those that are in power to swoop in and save us. That's not going to happen, I think it's just important that we are taking a deeper look at all of it, right? And really getting clear on what you think that means, Allow yourself to dig into that. What does it all really mean? I think sometimes it's easy for us to separate ourselves from what's happening in Palestine, right? Some people might find it easy to detach from it because they don't recognize that Palestinian liberation is directly tied to your own, right? Their freedom is tied to our freedom, to your freedom, right? We're all connected. So I think it's just important that we start looking a bit deeper, asking some more questions of yourself, questions of these systems that we put our trust in, these people that we put our trust in, right? I think what's happening in Palestine is almost like a test, right? Because we're able to see all the things that are happening. And if we as a people, if we as human beings can't come together with the common intention of a liberation of people, then how are we going to come together to liberate the people that we're not seeing every single day. We're in a very unique moment right now. What's happening is very unique, right? We are able to see what's happening with clarity, right? With absolute clarity. We can see what's happening. And it's important that we allow ourselves to see, to wake up, right? We have to wake up and see so that we can come together, right? Yeah. I don't remember where I started, but this is where we are. Yeah. Free Palestine, free Congo, free Sudan, free our minds, right? Free all people, free the Uyghurs, right? Let this moment right? I don't know where I was going with that. But let's allow this year to be a year of liberation, right? Where we free ourselves, we free our minds, and we allow ourselves to move forwards towards true liberation, right? Of all people. And I know that it's not all going to happen in 1 year, right? But let this be a year of serious movement forward, right? A year of action. Yeah. And I think it's also important that we recognize that the work that we are doing now is ensuring that future generations have a better world, right? We're not necessarily doing this for us to experience in this moment, although I hope that we do, right? I am keeping that hope and that prayer that we do, right? But I am also prepared to put in the work and to take the actions to ensure that future generations are able to experience what we are able to hold in our vision, right? Peace is possible. Freedom, liberation is possible, and we're moving towards that, right? We're on our way there. I can feel it. I know it, right? And things are going to get dark, but we have to allow ourselves to trust through it, right? Trust in the light that we bring, right? Trust that we are truly powerful and divine beings, and we have everything that we need to make a difference. We can create change. We can make a difference. You do have that power, right? You just have to recognize it. You just have to allow yourself to trust in that, to trust that you can make a difference, and know that it's going to be difficult, And there are going to be moments where it feels like you can't move forward anymore. But trust that the work that you're doing is not for naught, right? Change is possible, right? We just have to recognize it. We just have to allow ourselves to move towards that. We are not powerless within what's happening, right? And this is an opportunity for us to recognize how powerful we are, right? And it's okay for it to be uncomfortable. It's okay for it to be painful. That's a part of the process. Allow yourself to feel it. And allow that to be a reminder of your humanity. A reminder of the depths of your heart and your soul. Sending so much love, so much light. If you made it this far, so much gratitude. I believe in you. I believe in me. I believe in humanity. And I believe in our capacity to change. I believe in our capacity to create change, to create new. Yeah. And with that, I believe I am complete. Sending so much love. So much light. Just allow yourself to be open to receive that. Just allow yourself to feel into the energy of this moment. Sending love from my heart directly to yours. I love you. And I believe in you. And I know that we are moving towards change. I trust. And I'm prepared for the work ahead. And if you're finding yourself in need of support as you are navigating these times, I'm here to hold space, right? Please reach out. I'm here.